Well, I thought it was about time I did another farm tour because it's been a while. It's very noisy today. Yes, could everybody be quiet please? I'm trying to do a video. Thank you. So starting up at the gate, hello Maggie, have you come to join in? We're doing a farm tour. Yes, we are. Okay, so my woodland border is looking beautiful. Some gorgeous jonquils there, and the winter roses, the hellebores are all flowering and looking beautiful. And my Hardenbergia is just a delight, all covered in flowers up into the fig tree. So that's looking really gorgeous. And at long last, the Daphne is flowering and it smells amazing. So when you come to the gate now, it wafts through the gate just how I imagined. So I'm very pleased on that. I do need to do the pruning on these espalier trees. I'm sorry about my voice. As you can tell, I've had COVID and I've been quite ill for a couple of weeks. So I'm just coming out of that now, and that also explains the why I haven't done any videos recently. Anyway, I need to get out here and do the espaliers. I'm also thinking I need to thin the rose here, the wedding day rose, because there's a lot of congestion and potentially a bit of rubbing down on these limbs. So I think I'm going to thin it out so there's just one arm going either way so that they don't rub. Anyway, so the garden is looking amazing, and big news, you've got to have a look at this. Very excited. Can you see there? That is a purple sprouting broccoli. A summer purple sprouting broccoli in the middle of winter. So these plants now are, I would say six foot tall, these two big ones, and they are at long last giving some sprouts. I told them in no uncertain terms that they needed to sprout and they were going to stay there until they sprouted. Well, they have done. So the packet said 90 days, I think it was, 90 days to maturity. These have now been 10 months. Anyway, so good to know. I did plant them, I think in spring, certainly the beginning of summer. I think it was actually spring, I think, last year. And they've only just now started to sprout. So I might put them in again, but I would know that they'll take this long. The what's this? Clematis, that's right. The clematis, I don't know if you can see there, but we're starting to get some buds. So very boring at the moment. Oh, look, a little bit of growth there. Maybe you can see that. But we're starting to get some growth, so I'm hoping that's going to flower. Everything's starting to feel a bit more spring-like. Isn't it, girlies? Hey? Hey, girlies. They're looking a little better. There's one still molting. But yes, hello, yes. But we're now getting one egg a day, which is very nice, and they're looking a little bit more sprightly, not quite as much of a mess as they were before. And we have, I don't know if you can see up there, we have flowers on the avocados. So I'm quite hopeful that we may have some fruit this year. That would be very exciting to have the first fruit. Again, the herbs here are looking very sad. They don't like the wet weather, and we have had the wettest July on record. We have had so much rain. Those are the, what are those? Those are, I do this every time, don't I? Those are the hollyhocks, and we've put in some extra wire. I don't know if you can see here. This extra wire here, we put up an extra piece up here so that the chickens were leaning through and just taking all the tops off. So now they've got a good chance of growing and flowering. They're still sort of snipping off the bits right at the edge, but that's to be expected. But the main plant now can grow. The almond is obviously dormant and lost all its leaves, and the apple at the back, it's Monty's Surprise and Peas Good Nuns Shut, such double grafted. That needs a good prune now. August is a great time to prune here, obviously being the middle of winter, so I'll prune that tree. And also the fig needs its winter prune. The lemons, we've had all the lemons off. I took the last one off today, so they are now without lemons. But the pansies and the alyssum that I put in the bottom of them have all started to flower beautifully. So they've added a real hit of colour, which is nice. And also I put in geraniums here, and one of the geraniums now is flowering. Oh, excuse my shadow. That's now flowering, so that's nice. The camellia, this is the tea camellia, Camellia sinensis, and that hasn't done much. I trimmed it when I put it in there, but it's still alive, so it's probably just getting established. My sad lemon over there is still looking quite sad, but I did put some worm castings in it, and as you can see, we've got about 5 tomato plants growing, and also an unknown cucurbit. I think that could be a, I don't know, pumpkin, melon, whatever. But the lemon itself is still looking quite sad, so if it doesn't perk up in the spring, I think that might be for the compost. I actually put the coffee plant outside just recently because it was starting to go yellow and not looking very happy in the conservatory. So I put it outside to see if it prefers that. Just looking at, I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it needs, I probably need some feeding or a bit of something added to. It's just looking a little sad, so I just need to work on that. The lettuce, of course, have all gone to seed, and I've got some geranium seedlings in there as well. Oh, Maggie's in the picture. Hello, Maggie, sitting in the sun. My strawberries, trying to get out of the shadow here, my strawberries have started to produce strawberries, green ones. We did have a red one, but that got eaten by either Maggie or the birds. But I do need to put these into the strawberry plant, which I'm going to make soon. And we have these lovely, lovely bulbs that have come up. If I can remember the name of them. No, I'll put it on the screen if I can remember. But apparently they have an amazing smell. But we've all had COVID and we can't smell a thing. Still can't smell a thing. So they've come up, they've flowered, they've looked beautiful. There's another one coming in there. They've looked beautiful. They've smelt lovely, apparently. My daughter came round, daughter number 2, she came round and said they smelt divine. But we've missed out on those, so there we go. Along here, this is looking a bit dishevelled. These herbs and the mint and everything's just looking a little bit sad. It is winter. And the blueberries, they haven't lost their leaves. I thought that they were deciduous, but obviously not. Or maybe just not in Auckland, I don't know. So they've got buds. Everything's got these gorgeous little buds. I don't know if you can see. Everything's got little buds on them, so they're looking happy. I did give them a bit of a feed the other day, so hopefully they will come right. And I just realised the other day, I've not shown you where I keep my worm bins, so follow me. This is down to where we keep our dustbins and the washing line and the water tank, 4,000 litre water tank. And that's where I have my irrigation all working from. And obviously that's the pump that pumps the water from the water tank both to our toilets indoors and also out to the irrigation. And if you follow me down here, down between the house and the water tank, you'll see this is where I keep all my long poles. All my canes sit here, and round the corner that is where I keep my worm bins. So that's the back door just there. So it works really well. We just come out and pop them in there. And we have a hungry bin, and you can see I capture the worm tea underneath, and that's where we get the castings from. So that there is my worm farm. Right, so back up to where we were. Excuse me, coughing and spluttering. Right, so let's have a little look. The garden, oh, and also the sedum. I got a cutting off a friend around the corner, put it in, and it seems to be, oh, I'm a shadow again, really happy. And it looks like it's going to flower, so I'm very pleased about that. The garden is looking a bit of a mess. I've not been able to get out because of all this water, so the rain that we've had. So bear with me, it is going to look a real mess. Okay, so let's just having a look in this is France. And we're just having a look at the chard, and it's just so gorgeous. I love chard. It's so green and shiny, and the colours of the stalks. This is rainbow chard, so you can see there's some just amazing pinks and yellows down the back, and it's so gorgeous. And we've even got a sort of a brown one over here that has a sort of an orange stem, so absolutely delightful. And again, colour wise, this here is the what, dazzling blue kale, that's what it's called. Look at the colour of those ribs. I mean, that is just vibrant, so gorgeous. So very pleased with that. And then this one here, that is a violet cauliflower, which hopefully will make a cauliflower head at some point. So this bed, oh, it's my shadow. I can't really do anything about this shadow. I'm sorry about that, but maybe if I come from this angle. So you can see there's some chard, there's some spinach chard, there are some onions, and then some other brassicas. I think they're sprouting broccolis there. And the cosmos, self-seeded cosmos, are coming on great. They pop up everywhere. And over here, you can see again, we have, excuse me again, we have actually now with the sprouting broccoli, we've been taking the heads as they come up, so we're on secondary heads on some of these. And it's surprisingly, looking back here in this is England, this bed here, so we've had lots of the tops off these, and we're on secondary heads on these ones too. But you can see they're a lot more spindly, because these are the miracle ones that have been grown in total shade, like no sun at all on this bed in the winter. These two back beds have no sun. So I've been really surprised, but as you can see, as you get towards the back, they're smaller. So obviously there's more reflected light at the front, and then as you get to the back, these ones seem to be much smaller, although are making heads. So they just seem to be small but making heads. And then there's a little tiny one at the back there, which has not been eaten by the slugs, which is a miracle, but is not really doing anything. The other thing I noticed the other day is we do seem to have, I don't know if you can see it, some self-seeded asparagus there. These are the main heads. The main heads are through there, but as you can see, there's lots and lots of self-seeded asparagus coming up. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get closer. But there is masses of little tiny asparaguses coming. Asparaguses. And here, look, lots of little asparaguses. So I think I'm just going to leave them. The main heads, the original heads, will be coming through soon, I would imagine. But we're getting all this self-seeding going on, which would be quite nice. Look, and even at the back. And I'm quite pleased, because at the back, the asparagus has sort of moved forward, or the main crowns that we've put in, the ones at the back, just down here, they seem to have died off. So I'm quite pleased that we've got self-seeded ones everywhere. Okay, and then this, of course, is our enormously tall purple sprouting broccoli. And we've got a couple of small misshapen ones here. This one's got quite a corkscrew thing going on here, because I've not been able to support them very well, or I've been taking the leaves off for the chickens, so the chickens have really enjoyed them. But they're really weird misshapen things. Oops, sorry, hit the camera there. Misshapen things, so we'll see how they go. Nothing much else is going on in these beds, so I'm leaving it to happen. This is my 9-star broccoli. It's a perennial broccoli stroke cauliflower. So that is coming on beautifully, huge leaves, which is lovely. And that there is the trontuda, which is like a perennial cabbage, I believe. So we've eaten the odd leaf, as you can see on that, and so have the slugs, as you can see. The slugs and snails are everywhere. But yeah, they seem to be doing well, and I've snuck in a couple of little brassicas around there. It's always a bit of a challenge. Do they get eaten? Do they not? I just keep bunging things in to see what'll happen. And I took the cover off the lettuces because they were sort of pretty much over. But as you can see, this is what the birds do to my lettuces if they're uncovered. They were pretty much finished, so I've just let the birds strip them. But this again here, you see that there? That is a lettuce. This here was a lettuce, I should say. And there's another eaten lettuce there. They just are voracious for lettuces. So, I don't know. Well, nothing much I can do about it. Now, the other thing you might notice is I have added in, I don't know if you can see. You see here, we've got bars, these new bars here. I've added these in previous videos. You'll see that wasn't there, but I wanted to extend it round because I want to grow cucumbers up this panel next year, because I did grow them up the sort of the main posts here, but they always hang into the path, and it makes it difficult to walk past. So I've put we put the extra pieces in to match all the way along the sides, and I'm really pleased with them. I think it looks very smart. Unfortunately, I have actually got some brassicas we're already planted there, so they're getting a bit squozen out, but they'll have to work around it. So that's the big news on that. And then of course we also built out these beds. So I've put these extra pieces in here, narrowed the paths, because these are not main paths. That just goes up to the wash stand there. And then, excuse me swinging you around, at this side the same thing. It just goes down to the steps, which were narrow anyway. So that's given me just a little bit of extra growing room. Now, as you can see, I've got some peas there that are really struggling and have been eaten to bits by the snails over there. These peas are pretty much finished. Oh, sorry, I'm in the way. Those peas are pretty much finished. I've got a few flowers and calendula and things down there just to plant something. But yeah, not much going on there. Oh, I've got a weed that's flowering down there. The carrot, there's still some carrots. I pulled out the main ones, and then the smaller ones seem to grow through, and I've also got some mizuna in there, which is doing quite nicely. So that's pretty busy. And then we've been, excuse my shadow, I don't see there's any way I can not have a shadow here, to be honest. So you can see we've been thinning out the leeks and working our way through the leeks. The broad beans are coming on a treat, and they've even got flowers and things. So if you can see there, I've got some flowers on the broad beans, so that's quite nice to see. I think I've also got some bugs. I always have bugs on everything. Not too bad. I don't think there's no, I think it's okay. No, we've got flowers coming, so that's quite nice. The corn salad underneath is pretty much finished. Keep picking it, but that's doing okay. And these onions are sort of squeezed in. I don't know how well they're going to do, because they're pretty squeezed in. Whether they'll bulb up, I don't know. And then, so this is Italy, this bed, and I've been poking in all sorts of bits and pieces. So you'll see down there's another purple sprouting. No, that looks like a violet cauliflower to me. And there's another one at the end. And we've got some calendula in the pot, and of course the ubiquitous nasturtiums that grow everywhere. These peas are definitely over and finished. I just need to pull those out really, but as I say, I haven't been in the garden, so it's all been a bit messy at the moment. And those are poppies there that hopefully will produce flowers. Oh, I can see some big weeds. Please ignore the weeds, people. And then looking in Germany, this is the Germany bed. The rhubarb is doing amazingly well. I actually want to push it back into the corner a little bit, because it's doing so well. The leaves are coming out sort of onto this bed. So even though it has got really nicely established, I am actually going to dig it up and push it into the corner a little bit more. And I want to put another rhubarb over in that corner, where that's perpetual chard over there, which has never really done very well there. I think it needs more sun. We've got some self-seeded dill there, and again over here we've got some what is that? That is dazzling blue kale, and then some that we've been having this, which is this sort of little broccolini sort of stuff, which constantly goes to flower, and we just eat it. That is some more. That there is the 9-star broccoli, the tall one, and then that one down there is the chon Tudor. For some reason I reversed the order on this bed, maybe just sort of for diversity. Now, I don't know if you can see, but yeah, you can, I think. You can see under there I've got a whole bunch of self-seeded lettuce, and because it's under the nets, it's doing quite well because the birds have not eaten it. So I'm leaving the nets on here mainly for that lettuce. But you can see, I don't know if you can see actually, there are some brassicas in there as well, which are doing okay. So I think that could be Cavolo Nero. So we probably need to get at that at some point, but I'm loath to uncover that lettuce. And here we've got some Cavolo Nero, some, I think that's celery, yeah, so all sorts of bits and pieces. And then that yellow flowering stuff, that is this rab rapini that has essentially just keeps going to flower, but we eat it anyway. It's really delicious. So those are the 4 beds. Looking up on Park Square, the potatoes have been huge, but they have also been absolutely hammered by the wind and the wet, and so you can see they're all quite broken and beaten up, but they've all fallen over. But I'm just leaving them to keep going until they die off. I'm hoping for some good potatoes in there. And even these ones, which are the Jersey Bennies, Jersey Bennies, I don't know which, look, even that one is now starting to come through, so I need to earth those up. And hopefully, I mean, maybe those will just be a bit later, but they didn't seem to move off the spot, whereas these ones sort of romped away. These are Ilium hardy. So I did prune the lower leaves off the banana the other day, because I saw on YouTube that apparently you're only supposed to leave 5 leaves on the top of the banana. So I thought, oh, that's great, because the citrus grove is through the back there and it wasn't really getting that much light. So I've trimmed off the leaves a bit. They've been, you can see how ragged it is. That's the wind that has really hammered those. But they seem to do okay. They grow new leaves and carry on. And actually, I just want to show you. Oh, again, I'm in the shadow. Can you see here? We actually made some holes in the bottom of this wheelbarrow this last weekend. The husband got the big drill out for me and did that. It was surprisingly easy. I think could be just a modern wheelbarrow, but I picked it up off the side of the road, and I'm going to make that a strawberry planter. So I'm going to fill it with soil and put the strawberries in that. Anyway, over here you can see that the passion fruit is going really well. Great guns. So I might need to sort of tie that up, and also it's coming through the that's the elderberry tree there, and that really needs some pruning as well. So I'm going to have to disentangle the passion fruit from there so that I can prune it, and I need to get on with it because look, everything is budding up. So I don't know if you can see, but there are buds all over that, so I really need to get on to prune that. Food forest is doing okay down there. I had a little bit of a weed and put some grass clippings around the other day, so the New Zealand spinach is coming back beautifully, and there's parsnip down there which I'm going to leave to go to seed. There's some onions. Those are the Welsh bunching onions, so hopefully they will bunch. And then that's a lemongrass. I don't know if you can see, that's a lemongrass which is relatively new, seems to be reasonably happy, so letting it go. And that's my strawberry, my wild strawberry, which is doing well. It keeps having strawberries on it and does seem to be spreading nicely, so I think that'll do the job. This rhubarb again is quite happy, and even there is some land cress there, and that seems to like it there as well. So and those are some more hollyhocks which I'm trying to grow out through the front of the fence to provide a bit of colour. So that is Park Square, everything happening here. Don't look at that bed there. That is the remains of the Welsh onions, and they really weren't happy. They got all eaten. I think it's because it's in the shade, and it's just not, they weren't happy. And I can't move this planter bed into the sun because it's really unstable, and we get quite high winds, and this will just literally fall over if we bring it away from the fence, so I leave it there. And latest score, I don't know if you can see that, we found that on the side of the road. It's one of those handy benches where, you know, you do work stuff on it. It's got clamps and things, so I mean, it's a plastic thing. I don't suppose it's, you know, very strong, but it's great. We've had that out on Park Square when we were doing the alterations to Crystal Palace, and really useful. So that was a nice find. I also have these seedlings here. Now this is one of these mystery seedlings. I thought there was nothing in it, but then this has grown, and also that looks to me like chard, so I probably need to plant that out. It could be chard, but this, I'm not sure what it is. On the little sign there, I don't know if you can see it, it says pepino and dill. Well, it's certainly not dill, and I have a sneaky suspicion that I did actually put some pepino seeds in there, so I'm going to pot it on and see if it turns out to be that. It could just be a new weed that I've not seen before. Nothing in the cold frames at the moment, apart from some plastic bags, but I have started seed sowing indoors. So the great sowing has begun. You probably can't see from here, maybe I'll show you afterwards, but we've got some onions started, and parsley, and some chili peppers as well have started. And of course I have my melon. They're there on the windowsill in there. I'll show you after this video. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the side gardens, the west gardens. So coming along here, you can see that my strawberries are still in there, and the bottom of the olive is covered in lots of little sort of bud-like things. Can you see that? So I think, I don't know if they might be olives. I've never had an olive tree before, but they could be olives. Either olives or leaves or flowers, not sure, waiting to see, but very exciting. But look, they're everywhere. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got more of our sad looking strawberries there, and then there's a few runners in there. Oh, can't see because of my shadow. Some few runners there as well. So I need to get all of those potted up into my new wheelbarrow strawberry planter. This is the lime tree, and it's got a whole bunch of new growth, so that's doing really well. All my geraniums need a bit of a hack back. I've got a bit of a problem with this. This is the tangerine that came with the house. It does seem to have a lot of beautiful verdant growth on it, but it does have a problem. I don't know if you can see down here. I chopped this off because it had a damage, but I've noticed it's now all the way down here. And I don't know whether, I don't know, to chop that off, whether to chop it off down here. But if I chop it off down there, I've got quite a misshapen looking tree, because at the moment it's sort of got one bit that comes out here and another one that comes out there. If I chop that off, it's going to be quite misshapen, but I might have to save the little tree. I don't know what to do about that. If you've got any ideas, let me know below. Should I take that off, or should I just let nature take its course and hope it'll survive? I don't know, because this growth here, that comes off there. So I could actually, because this is coming over here, I could actually take that limb off and then let this bit here take over. I might do that, because I don't think it's getting worse, not better. And then there's the orange tree, that's doing quite nicely as well. And the bougainvillea, the baby bougainvillea at the back, has got some beautiful flowers on it. Interestingly, just in the sun. So where it's been in the shade, it doesn't seem to have any flowers. But in the sun, beautiful colour. Beautiful colour, so very pleased with that. We haven't got any action yet from the jasmine. That is just still looking quite wintry. So we'll see what happens there. And down to the side garden now, there are lots of weeds. I need to do a serious weeding. This is the Chilean guava and bijou, but I think it's got new growth on it. It looks okay, so excited about that. We have got the rose there, needs a prune. That's Jacqueline de Prey. That needs a good prune to set it off well for this next year. And the camellia has survived. It is surviving. It's a bit on a wonk. I don't know why it's on a wonk. I didn't plant it on a wonk, but it's on a wonk. So maybe I'll leave it to do its own thing. Probably, yeah, if it's happy, I'll leave it. I got a new plant for the pond the other day, a while ago. That one over there is, it's a water buttercup. So we already had a flower off it, so that's quite nice. It's doing a bit of things there. That one in the corner, I'm just not very happy. I don't know whether it's going to come back. And that one does seem to die off and then perks up in the summer when it gets warmer. I think the water's quite cold, so there we go. Now, that is, can't remember what that is. It's very good for the bugs and the bees. Borage, that's what it is. It's borage. So that seems to be doing quite nicely. It looks like it's going to flower soon, so very exciting. And I've got lots of buds on that's the black currant bush, the new black currant bush. Oh, and look, a tomato, self-seeded tomato. Well done you. So that looks like it's going to do well. Nothing much. This is the gooseberry. It's got some little buds on it, so maybe that will happen. My gutter gardens, I've got some. I still haven't weeded. I've still got some lovely swan plants in there, which I might pot on and try and give away. The snow in summer is romping away quite happily, so that's good. And even this is the chamomile that I thought had died, was definitely being eaten, is definitely still being eaten. Oh, bit of grass. Is definitely still being eaten, and but it's still taking its, holding its own. And then all here, these were all the succulents that I put in. What are they called? I'm not going to remember, am I? No, I'm not going to remember. But they did really well last year, and so I'm hoping. I don't think they do seed. Look, there's a seed head there. So maybe if I just, oh yeah, I'll do that. Black currant. No, this is the blackberry. That's got buds on and everything, so hopefully that's going to romp away. I cut out all the last year's wood, as you can see, so this is just the fresh wood that will fruit now, and hopefully we'll get some more wood. I've just made some blackberry jelly from the blackberries in the freezer, because I'm trying to close up the freezer and turn it off, and it's delicious, so very excited about that. And we even this is the raspberries, and we even had a couple of raspberries on here the other day, so I didn't like to take it out because we had raspberries. And weirdly enough, it's now budding on the old growth. So I'm confused. I thought I thought I needed to take this down at the base. Maybe I do. But it is, oh no, look, as on a postcard, I do have buds coming on these canes, which maybe that's, oh I know, that's if you leave it and want to get some early raspberries. Right, okay. I might do that on a couple of them, because they weren't doing very well last year. There was a new raspberry there. I think it's died. Maybe not. What's that there? Yeah, okay, we'll see. And of course, this is my wildlife area, which is very wildlifey. It's all the self-seeding wildflowers are kicking off, mainly Alison. That's the little feijoa, dwarf feijoa, and the orange berry, which probably needs a bit of a trim back. And then my stick pile. I don't know if we've got any wetters in our wetter box. I'll have to see. And we've got a little growth on our swan plants, so hopefully they'll burst into life soon. So this is the West Gardens. I do tend to just leave this alone at this time of year, because obviously it's a wildlife area. And so, oh, we've got beautiful little flowers here. I don't actually know what this is, but it spreads everywhere and it's really pretty. So I leave this area alone just to get on with life, really, so which it seems to be doing. So I think that's about the farm tour. Oh, Maggie, hello. What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there, sausage? What are you doing? You're showing off, hey? Look what I can do. Well done, you. Right, so that, I think, is the farm tour. Oh, I still need to trim back this rose. This is the Dublin Bay, and also, I mean, I might trim it back really hard and just see if it can do anything this year. It was a bit sad last year, so we will see. This one, Wedding Day, I gave it a really good prune, and it seems to like being tied in and pruned, so that will carry on. And that's about it, I think, isn't it, girlies, hey? Is that about it for the tour? Hello. Hello, girlies. Hello, yes. What are we doing? They said, got anything to eat, got anything to eat, got anything to eat? I don't know if we... Oh, look, they're eating my hollyhock. Why are you eating my hollyhocks? You beasts, you. Hello, girlies. Hello, hello, hello. So the things in the chicken run are looking a bit sad. The flax is still alive. Miracle. That, I think, in the corner, the grevillea, dead. I think we pronounced that dead. And the grasses have not been happy over the winter. They've had a lot of sitting on. So we'll have to see how they do, won't we, girlies? Yes. Have you been a nuisance? And my Muhlenbeckia, there's a Muhlenbeckia there. It's got a few leaves on. I don't know if it's going to die. We'll see. I hope it doesn't. And then the hebe that's in the bird cage, that seems to still be alive, although every time I take the cage off, the chickens lay into it. So I don't know how chicken proof that one's going to be. I might have to just take the cage off and see if it'll survive. Well, that's it on a beautiful, beautiful sunny beginning of August day. That's the garden. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the farm tour. And oh, look at that. I mean, isn't that a delight? I don't know if you can see that, but the sun just coming through the Hardenbergia and then the hellebores below. Just gorgeous. Just beautiful. Look at that. Hello, blackbird. Look at the blackbird through there. That's our resident blackbird. It has some beautiful song, but also digs up all my vegetables. So it's a love-hate relationship, isn't it, blackbird? Yes, it is. The indoor garden is looking a bit sad. I don't know. I tried indoor garlic. Yes, as you can see, not the best success. They seem to sort of come up and then sort of die off a bit. These have managed to survive, so I've got one successful tub there. This one, some of them have fired, a few of them have fired, and then they've just, see, that one came up and then died off, and this one's all dying. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know as I'd pronounce indoor garlic a success. But anyway, the indoor garden's looking very sparse at the moment. That is my snail vine, looking very not all that happy. Not all that happy at all. The leaves are looking a bit mottly, but it's still alive. I think it might be a lot happier when it goes outside. The aubergines are, well, the bigger leaves don't seem to be happy, but it's got, again, new growth. Look, it's even trying to have flowers. I don't know if you can see there. It's even, look, putting on it, it's had other flowers. Yeah, see, there's the problem there. I don't know if you can see, there are red spider mites on there, and I think that's what's causing problems. I need to take them outside and give them a good hose off. This is my overwintering chili. Capsicum, what is it? Capsicum. It's still alive. And again, this is an overwintering, but look, see? I've got new flowers, and I've even got chilies, and I've got red chilies. So that, even though it's not looked very healthy, it's kept going. So quite pleased with that. So I do need to take them outside and give them a squirt. These were my sweet potato. The idea being that you take the snippings and then you put them in water, and I mean, they're still alive. And then rather than trying to try and sort of grow your little slips for your sweet potatoes, you just use these. They've not been very happy about it all, but they're still alive, so they may well be the thing. And the idea we came up with the other day was to actually make the bin hide. You can see the bins out here. We're going to put a bin hide over the top, and I want to put a planter on the top. So I thought that would actually make a really good sweet potato bed, and then have the sweet potatoes growing up the fence. So that's the plan. We just need to build it. And these are my first sowings. So I've got onions there, and you see this is my new labeling technique. I need 9 onions for the Munich bed. So that's all on the label. And here I need 2 cayenne peppers for the indoor garden, parsley for Eutoxeter ×1. So I've got all that going, and as you can see here, these are the parsleys. That's my first chili pepper coming up, and there's another little one there coming up as well. So that's quite exciting. That's the first growing. Is there anything under there? Oh yes, and there's another one there. So that's really exciting. I've got the last of my loofahs drying out there. This, I'll show you. This is last year's loofah harvest. Oh, this is last year's loofah harvest. What I have to do now is bleach them, put them through bleach, dry them out. I've taken the seeds out of most of them, and they're ready to go. That one on the top rotted a bit, so it's a bit black, so I don't know whether that's going to bleach up very well, but we'll have to see. It's all an experiment, so I should be good for loofahs for a while. So that's an understatement. And let's have a little look at George. So this is George. George there. Hello, George. This is George. She is, I know, look, she's flowered. We've had flowers. We've got more flowers coming. She's the melon for the Transatlantic Melon Challenge. Doing quite nicely. Actually, I think a bit of a miracle. Still alive in the middle of winter and growing. And you can see, look, there's little tendrils. So it's even wanting to climb now. I might have to put the tiniest climbing frame together for it. Obviously, there's no way she can go outside yet, but I'm just wondering how long the Transatlantic Melon Challenge is open for, if there's a closing date, because obviously I don't think I'm going to get melons until summer, which will be winter in the Northern Hemisphere, and all their melons are coming now. So, I'll have to find out if there's a closing date, otherwise I've lost. But anyway, I'm really quite pleased that I've managed to grow a melon, not an actual melon, a melon plant in the middle of winter in New Zealand. Anyway, see you next time.